Hello and welcome back down, deep down to the Red Rabbit Hole podcast. Thank you for joining us again. And you lucky listeners and viewers, if you are looking at us right now on YouTube, hi, here's the thumbs up meme we're putting into place here. Because you lucky things. Because, I mean, well, Nicky's here, so you're very lucky that, hi, Nicky, you still here?
I'm here. I didn't go anywhere.
You're dancing.
I'm the miming. I'm
You're
trapped down the
miming.
red rabbit
Miming didn't go anywhere. Really making use of that visual platform we now have. I think that's good work. I like it. But I mean, Nicky, they are very lucky that you're here, but they're more lucky that we are joined again by the wonderful Will Carver. Hi, Will. How are you? How was your week down the Red Rabbit Hole?
You've taken care of me. I'm all hummused up.
You're hummused up.
So it's
was that really hummus?
Yeah.
I thought it was hummus adjacent.
It was some crushed leaves and mud, but it worked, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks for this wine, by the way. That's a nice touch.
That's a big glass. I don't remember giving you that.
I know a guy. Yeah.
He smuggled it down here. We're gonna have to check him next time.
Yeah, you got to frisk me better, I think.
Yes.
No, I think it is a bit like that moment in the Roald Dahl book, you know, when the fantastic Mr. Fox and they dig through into one of the cellars of the farmers, don't they, and get hold of all the cider. I got a hose pipe and I piped through a little wine, so we have a little wine tap down here now.
Yes, lovely.
Keeps the guests happy.
Yeah.
And compliant,
nice
as we discovered with the CULTS.
Yes.
We want you compliant.
Yeah. I've not given him any protein. We don't want to let
protein,
his brain...
we don't want his brain
no protein,
mush,
no contact with the outside world, only my ideologies.
Oh man, this poor man.
So he's had to turn to wine.
Yes, I've forgotten what the sun looks like.
Bit like being in a casino down here, no idea what time of day it is, what's going on.
You're pumping in like oxygen just to keep me awake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep you awake.
Yeah.
Keep you writing. That's what we're doing. Down those research rabbit holes. So speaking of which, Will, tell us about your other book that you want to talk about.
Oh gosh, well, I have a few serial killers. I started with serial killer books. I did a series called the January David series, which was kind of like a supernatural thing. This guy, it wasn't visions, but he was kind of intuitive, and he would see things like a day before they would happen, and that would help him solve a case. And the first book, Girl 4, I mean, I'm going to ruin the big twist, but essentially they were all based on. It's okay, don't worry, I don't care. It's sold enough, and it's done. It's old. Essentially, all of the murders were based on the world's greatest magic tricks. So I didn't really have to research serial killers too much on that, although I did. But I did have to research magic and kind of turn those magic tricks into like a set piece for the murders, which was good fun. There's one. There's a guy. He manages to smoke like 60 cigarettes or something on stage. Like they keep appearing from his mouth. Like it's a crazy magic trick. And so I had someone tie a woman's hands behind her back, attach them to her feet, and then stuff 62 cigarettes in her mouth, and then she does. It's gross, but it's my worst death, I think. Yes, but I then wrote one of my favorite books I've written is called Psychopaths Anonymous. So this is
where do I sign up? Where can I get help with that?
It's anonymous. You're not meant to tell people.
Oh no.
we meet on a Wednesday at the local cricket club. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's a woman who she knows she's a psychopath, but she sets up a group, like an Alcoholics Anonymous group, but for people who kind of lack empathy or fly against societal norms, I guess. And I really had to. So two things I had to do for that book was research what the hell goes on in Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12-step plan. So I kind of went through that. I went through all the literature, and it was during lockdown. I went to an online Alcoholics Anonymous meeting to see what it was like. I felt really bad. Like when I had the idea, I wanted to go to one, but I was like, I felt like, I don't know, I felt a bit dirty kind of going in and
You weren't sitting there with that
hi,
massive
I'm Will,
glass
I'm
of
an
wine.
alcoholic or whatever.
That, yeah, as he sat there with his...
I say, yeah.
Yeah.
And but they have like two kinds. You can have like open and closed meetings, and the open ones are for kind of, for people who are dabbling with the idea of being an alcoholic, and then you've got the ones who are hardcore, they've lost everything. And
what's the 12-step plan for a psychopath then?
Well, that's what I then had to develop. Basically, I took all the 12 steps for alcoholism, and she got really annoyed that essentially they try to make you believe in God. And so she wanted to fly against all of that. I can't remember because I wrote this like 4 years ago, but the psychology and the science behind psychopathy is amazing to me. And it's weird, but I do have like favorite serial killers, right? Do you have favorite serial? Yeah, good. So it's okay
You're
to
in
have
a
them.
safe place.
You're-
It's
yeah.
okay to admit these things.
Yes, good. Well, I mean, so I love Ted Bundy just because he's, again, like we were talking about before, like he's super charismatic. He's a good looking guy. He drives a Volkswagen Beetle. He's cool, and I like, and psychopaths are usually a little intelligent, right? They're a bit smarter than you think, but they also lack that empathy. I love it, and I love him. I don't know, he's kind of weirdly endearing. Like if you watch him talk when he's defending himself, when he was captured and then he escaped, I just thought that was brilliant. Like he walked up and down his cell, the amount of like he ran up and down it so he could work out how long it would take him if he got out of this vent to then run to the hills where he did escape. Like he was like, right, so that's that far. This room is this far. So if I run that 208 times, that's that distance. I know I've got 6 minutes, 4 seconds to run. It's like, I mean, it's really interesting to put that much into it.
Wow.
I know. I just find it fascinating. And I really like I like Charles Manson. I know before we were talking about cults, and he kind of is a bit of a crossover there because he was a cult leader, but then he was sent to prison for killing lots of people, but he didn't actually kill them. And I mean, that's really interesting to me because at the time, like the government, the CIA, was it, were there was a thing called Project MK Ultra, where they were trying to work on like mind. Not what's the words I'm thinking of? Mind control.
Mind control. Yeah.
And they'd spent like millions and millions and millions, and they couldn't do it. And then this guy comes along, and he just
Dirty
gives people
hippie.
LSD and says, "Go and kill some people." I just think
who plays a bit of music and charms all these
bad
women
music
into
as
following
well.
him.
It
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Oh, do you know what?
Watch that documentary where they play it. They play
I got
his
his album, and I think it's pretty good. I quite like it.
Oh my God, good job he's not still around.
I like the music
there.
of that time. I like the music of that time. Yeah, but I mean, that's really interesting to me because they put him in jail. He didn't kill anyone, and he did what the government couldn't do with all for 30 years and with all those millions. I don't know how much I buy it.
He used other people as his weapon, though, because those people would never have committed those crimes without him. That's, I think, kind of the link. I mean, he didn't get his hands dirty per se, but he instigated. But talking about sort of self-aware serial killers, one of my favorite ones is Kemper. Have you heard?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a big lad, but he used to drink with the police in a pub. And they talked about his case, the murders he'd committed, and he was like giving them advice on how to catch the killer.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Oh gosh. So did he use it as an opportunity to redirect them elsewhere, or did he kind of
I
feel
think he just did
so
it for a bit of a
confident,
laugh.
so bold?
But he was very self-aware
Yeah.
as to his kind of his hunger, I guess you could call it, because
Mm.
he was once quoted because he'd pick up hitchhikers. He was one of the ones that would go for like hitchhikers, college girls especially, and he saw some college girls on the side of the road and picked them up. And his thought process when he spoke about it was that I knew there was men like me around, and I didn't want them to find them. So he
That's
did it.
mad.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Absolute madness. So, but self-aware, he knew, he
Yeah,
knew his
yeah.
triggers, he knew what he was and why he even was, but he even became like this model patient at the mental facility that he ended up at.
Well, he did help with those FBI, with the
He
people who
did,
started
yeah,
FBI
mine
profiling,
hunters.
didn't he? Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
And did you know Ted Bundy actually did a bit of a Hannibal Lecter with the Green River Killer? He tried to get his stay of execution pushed back because he said he could catch the Green River Killer.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because at the time there was a couple of different serial killers at the time. So there was those two, there was BTK and there was Gacy as well. And
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
all vying for the papers at the time. So they were like all in competition with each other. So suddenly Gacy's on the news and BTK comes out of hiding and kills someone. And then
Yeah.
I think he actually got caught because he sent a letter saying he needed more headlines because Gacy was getting them all. I know.
It is.
There's
It's like
that
they're
part
clamoring
of
for
them.
likes.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. If only
Yeah.
social media was around then
Yeah.
maybe
Little kids in a playground,
yeah.
isn't it?
Me
Kind of
miss, me miss.
fighting for who's who's the biggest bully in the
I'm
playground.
the best serial killer. Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Look at me, look at me, look what I can do. But yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And I always wonder, when serial killers kind of get together like that, I mean, what would happen? I mean, no spoilers with your book, Will, but what roughly happens in your book then when you get these meetings going?
Well, I think what I wanted to explore more was in that book was that you can be a psychopath and not kill people.
Mm,
You can just, because I did obviously a lot of I read a lot of scientific stuff as well about, the part of your brain that doesn't develop during adolescence that means that you can't, you're not empathetic. And while you might do something and you don't feel bad about it or you don't feel guilt, it doesn't mean you then go on to kill your cat and then a horse and then 5 girls in a dorm room or whatever. It's You can teach yourself to think that I know that in this situation I should feel this. I know I can't feel this, but I will react in the way that I'm supposed to. And so a lot of the people in the group are just kind of finding that actually they're not weird or abnormal for not feeling, for not being able to feel guilt over things, or not feeling bad when someone dies or a pet dies or someone tells you their dog dies and you're like, oh, I don't care about dogs. It's like, you can teach yourself to be like, oh, that's really,
yeah.
I feel bad for you, even though you don't. And I think the book really, I wanted to kind of explore that, and that you could have a group of people like that and they can still function in society. But the woman who leads it, she does like to kill, and she likes to kill a lot of men. So yeah,
Oh.
that's more what I wanted to explore. I like the psychology of a psychopath, and it's different to a sociopath, and narcissism comes in, and
Mm.
yeah, like all psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths or something.
Yeah, and you
And
don't
not
have to be a psychopath to kill someone. Normal people kill as well. And you'll find a lot of psychopaths, people that will test high on those, tend to work in quite high flying,
yeah,
adrenaline soaked careers because that's the only way they can get any kind of feeling is
yeah,
like jumping out of airplanes or running into burning buildings or playing with people's finances in the Houses of Parliament, whatever
yeah.
it is that they've gotten into, that's how they kind of get their high, not killing, well, hopefully not killing people.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at someone like Steve Jobs, who ran Apple. I mean, that guy was a psychopath. He had no regard for the people really that
Mm,
worked at Apple. But that kind of put him in good stead to become as successful as he was. And I think a lot of people in business or high positions within companies have that kind of psychopathicness.
I think they need it to get where they get to.
Yeah.
I think by the time, especially, I mean, I've talked about politicians. Me and Lisa's talked about politicians quite a bit. We actually did an election special, didn't we, on the Red Rabbit Hole?
Let's get political.
Yeah. No more, because Olivia Newton-John, her foundational series.
Yeah, she is. Bless her.
Copyright.
She's like, no, I can't turn over again.
Did she die?
I think so, isn't she?
I don't know. Yeah,
I
maybe.
hope so. Now we've just said it.
I'm
if
sure
we're not.
Well, if not, sorry, Olivia, but
God, do you know what? I really hope Olivia Newton-John is dead.
well, there's
know
our
what?
tagline for the show.
Talking about our favourite serial killers, but yet that I felt went too far.
Yeah,
Olivia
We're
Newton-John.
talking about
No, we've gone too far.
Ted Bundy and Ed Kemper.
Yeah, you're right.
Probably.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I was going to ask, why did you choose to make her the protagonist in that book a woman? Why did you choose to make her a her? Because actually all the names we mentioned, excluding Olivia, who wasn't in our list of favourite serial killers, were men.
I tend to, I like writing women. That's one thing. But I wrote these 3 books, Good Samaritans, Nothing Important Happened Today, which was my cult one, and then the one narrated by Evil, Hint and Hollow Death Trip. And there was a detective in all of those books, and everyone called it the Detective Sergeant Pace trilogy. And he was just in it. He was just in it. It was not his series. For me, as the writer, the person who created the book.
Yeah, it's kind of your decision.
It wasn't about that. I mean, in the first book, he doesn't appear till page 86, and he's only seen in the background on like news footage. He's not even investigating the thing. In the second one, he's not investigating the cult case. He's in therapy. And in the third one, that is his story. And then I kill him off because I was sick of people saying that it was his series. So he dies at the end of the third one. So, but
spoiler.
So Maeve is in all of those books, and so I killed him off, and then I wrote Psychopaths Anonymous, and I was like, this is her book now, and she's been in all of these. This is actually her series, and I just wanted to give her story. And I think it's obviously there are loads of male serial killers and not a lot of women, and women don't get caught because they're smarter, and I find that really fascinating. And I've read a lot of books about psychopathy and the percentages of women that have it compared to men, and I just think it's more interesting to have a female do it, and why not? And she gets to kill a load of men. I thought that was great fun.
Well, it kind of flies in the face of kind of the norm, doesn't it? Because women tend to have this, I suppose, to society, women are maternal and caring and nurturing and weaker and sweet, and that's not, you wouldn't describe any serial killer in that fashion. So it kind of creates this cognitive dissonance in your mind as to she shouldn't be this, but then she is. But I think there are more female serial killers than most people realize, because a lot of them are not putting into like the kind of Black Widow territory, the way you've got women that will marry men and kill them off and keep doing the cycle again and again.
Yeah, I think as well, I when people tell me that I'm not allowed to do something in a book, I then have to do it.
You have to find a way to do it. Me too.
So yeah, so I think I had to do that as well.
Maybe sexism has enabled us to keep our female serial killers under the wraps a bit more. Really, I mean, maybe it's something to actually thank inequality in society for. Really,
keep us in the wild.
Yeah, nobody suspects. Pesky women and all their pesky emotions. They can't possibly be psychopaths.
They're just smart. You're smarter than we are. That's what I think. I was reading a proof the other day from from a writer. I won't say who it is because I don't want to give anything away. But halfway through, I messaged her and said, "Oh, this is a great book. I'm really loving it. You mentioned this woman near the beginning. It's got to be her. It's got to be her. If I wrote this, I would want it to be her. I love it because there's so many men in the book, and you think, oh, it's going to be one of these guys. And then I finished it, and I was like, it was. And she was like, yeah, you bastard. Oh, sorry, I wasn't allowed to swear. She said, you beep. Yeah. So I think it's good. I mean, it's crazy that you can still pull the rug from people because people immediately assume that it's going to be a guy, it's going to be a man, and it's easy to do now.
Yeah, a guy, or if there's a woman involved, she is flanked by a guy. You know, we don't really see people talk about Myra Hindley, or you don't see. We always partner them up, don't we?
Yeah,
we say we're with someone else.
It's only that Aileen Warnos,
that
people talk about.
I would maintain there's a couple of serial killers that I would maintain are actually not serial killers, and she's one of them, because I think she killed a lot out of necessity, because there was a lot of men she went with that she never killed.
Yeah.
But she killed specific men, so it makes me think, and she was in a very vulnerable position with those men. I still think that she was just vilified, and she wasn't. She had very low self-esteem. She'd fallen in with wrong people. I just think it was a horrible kind of set of circumstances.
Huge history of trauma there as well.
Yeah,
wasn't there?
massive.
From
Absolutely massive.
Being a tiny child, she'd been hurt by people.
Abused. Yeah.
Who were supposed to care for her.
Yeah. And the other one that I would always argue is not a serial killer is Jeffrey Dahmer. Because his ultimate goal wasn't the death of
this.
I know.
It was a zombie thing.
It was a zombie thing. He wanted to create that kind of the forever lover that would never leave him. And he just kept messing it up. And so the deaths weren't really his goal. In fact, they were the opposite to his goal. He wanted to keep them alive and compliant.
He wanted his twin flame, didn't he?
Didn't he?
Yeah,
he'd have been ripe for that cult, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Imagine that guy turning up at the cold door.
I think that's the next book, to be fair.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer turns up
as a
serial killer joining a cult. Yeah, definitely. Because then they'd be like, would this fix me? You know, because cults will love bombing and like, oh, we're doing good and we can help you and that. And the serial killer would be like, oh, they can stop me from killing. This is going to be great. And then next thing you know, he's killed the leader.
Yeah.
Or she's killed the leader.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I've now got to run the cult. Look what I've done.
Yeah, and then we find out that the CIA are actually behind it, and they had set them up. They had used their research to set them up as a new cult leader. They'd tried to attend Psychopaths Anonymous.
See, you've driven Will to drink. Look what you've done.
You may have noticed I'm not a writer.
Yeah, it went off there, but I was, it was good before that, though. I like that.
I think we've come up with something there.
This is why I'm not a writer, I think.
See, and it could be called Killer Cult. There you go.
Yeah. Done.
Done. Dusted.
Killer
Sell it.
Easy,
be done,
guys.
Write it.
Get on it. Such a fuss, to be honest.
I'll do it. 6 weeks. It'll be done.
6 weeks done. I want to see that proof.
Yeah.
So Lisa, come on. Who's your favourite serial killer?
Well, Harold, isn't it?
No, you can't have Harold.
Stop talking about him. No, right. He's not. Well, he's not my favourite, but
because you know him the best.
Look, talk about the numbers. Simply talking about the numbers, really. And I just think he's so. And it's not him. I'm not promoting him as a person, but he's so ignored. He's ignored because it was old ladies. Like everyone just thought it was okay because it was old ladies. And I just think that he got away with it for so long because of the way that we treat elderly people in society. So I'm angry that he got away with it for so long. But I also just think the kind of the case itself is fascinating. The failings that allowed him to get away with it for so long, and the fact that we just don't. He's not a name that comes up when you talk about. He's not as glamorous as Bundy, is he? He's not. He's not got all the stories or the smarts of kept. He might have the smarts though. He might have.
He wouldn't make the serial killer calendar.
No, he wouldn't, would he? Or if he
Maybe
did,
like in
they'd
a
stick him
winter
in
one
like
with his
February.
with his flannel shirt and like or
And his
something. I think
doctor's stethoscope or something,
yeah.
maybe,
And
and
also, yeah,
a full
that, that
syringe.
good family doctor. The way that changed the way people feel about their doctors, like the trust, the level of trust that people would put into their family doctor, that you would invite someone into your home, and that when all, that it completely pulled the rug out from under people in society in that respect. So,
What about, though, we talked about the real Dexter. Will, have you ever heard of the
oh
real Dexter killer?
yeah,
Who is it?
yeah, I do.
See, his name escapes me. I was hoping Lisa would
All right.
remind me. But he was
Phil
from
Hole, isn't it? Redrico.
Rodrigo.
I feel like it's something Phil Howell, isn't it?
Yeah,
He
like
was incredible though.
he
What, he
was
He was
just goes
brilliant.
around killing
amazing. He
bad
had like a
people,
whole
does he?
Yeah,
TikTok account. He had a YouTube account. He was,
yeah, he was
and
really big.
well, we
Wow.
talked about the one that he was left in a room in prison
Mm.
with 5 other people. And he was like 14 at the time or something ridiculous like that. He was really young. He was in prison. And we're talking about in Brazil. This is not
Yeah.
like he was safely being guarded by, an authorized person who was looking after him or anything like that. He was there and, he walked away. And I think two of those other men walked away with injuries and 3 of them didn't walk away.
Wow.
Nothing on him.
He was put
Like,
in a police van with a rapist, and he turned to the policeman and said, "Don't put me in with this guy because he's not walking out if you do." And they were
yeah,
all
he did,
laughing it
didn't
off
he?
because he
Yeah.
was handcuffed.
Yeah.
And when they opened the doors, he'd killed him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
How
they
like
started
bitten his
using him
throat
in that
out or
way,
something?
didn't
Yeah,
they? They were
yeah.
putting him into the. It's Pablo Rodriguez Filhal. Pablo Rodriguez Filhal, that was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
grew
Bet
up in
they
a
caught
kind of
up to
cult,
him.
though, didn't he? Didn't he grow up because his dad practiced Santeria,
Kind of, yeah,
some
yeah.
form of
His
Santeria?
grandmother told him to go and sacrifice a cat and stuff like
No,
that
and he had
to
to go
make
and
him
live in the
strong.
woods when he was like, what, 9 or something? He had to survive in the woods on his own for a bit.
Always starts with cats, doesn't it?
Yes, gateway killing.
Are
Yeah.
we I feel like we're entering into another game of top trumps here.
Yes.
Somehow. Who are you putting forward, Will, in our game of top trumps? We've
I don't know, but
got
I was.
Pablo Rodriguez, Phil Howell, and Harold Shipman at the moment.
Oh, what's the guy? What's the Night Stalker guy? What's his?
Oh,
Richard
yeah.
Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Oh, Ramirez.
Yeah.
He's great, isn't he? Like he's just like he's just so dark, but he's also like he's such an idiot. Like when he's like, "Oh, hail Satan," when he's like, you're like, "Oh, you've
Yeah.
ruined it. You did so
Yeah.
much. You did so much good stuff."
And then he's
You
ruined
know,
his rep.
Yeah, and you made yourself look like an idiot.
I love the fact that he was caught by the public. That
Yeah,
that he was
Yeah.
literally like descended upon by just a group of well-meaning people that had identified him from a sketch and kicked the crap out of him.
yeah. He's pretty recognizable though, isn't he? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't really hiding it, was he?
I quite like,
Yeah.
like Jack Kevorkian. Like
Oh.
so he's like Shipman, right? But we kind of look at him in a better way because he's more like he advocates euthanasia, but for people who kind of should, they're at a point
In his
they're at a
opinion.
point,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
at a point in their life, like he was kind of assisting them, whereas because they might have, requested it perhaps, but Shipman's was a bit more nefarious because he was like, oh, I can take your life savings or whatever. I quite like him.
Yeah.
There was the one that went on the dating show in the 70s, Rodney Alcalano.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched the program. That was
That was insane. I mean, he
yeah.
killed so many women, but then went on the 1970s dating TV show
Yeah.
and he won the date. But then the
Wow.
woman at the end said he was too creepy and she wouldn't go out with him.
Yeah, she scarpered, didn't
She
she?
clocked it, yeah. Well, there was a guy on Bullseye. Do you remember the
Yeah.
Bullseye? He was like, I saw a thing. He was like, he kind of gave it away, like, oh, I've been scuba diving recently or something. It was like he put bodies down where he was scuba diving, and then he popped onto Bullseye.
Yeah.
Didn't win a mini metro, and
If only he'd won the yacht, though, eh?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
would have solved all
Wouldn't
his
that?
problems.
Yeah,
The speedboat.
the speedboat, like two guys on there, both work in a factory. They've won a speedboat. It's like,
In the
what are we gonna
Midlands.
do with
Yeah.
this? Yeah, great. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
we talk about Jack the Ripper a lot on this show.
Oh yeah,
Will,
you love Jack
Will,
the
and
Ripper.
I've got to ask anyone who's into serial killers, I have to ask, who do you think Jack the Ripper was?
Do you know? I don't know enough about Jack the Ripper. It's so. I'm like, I think I'm a contemporary
We've got an
guy.
episode on that, Will. We've got an
Yeah.
episode where we just let Nicky loose, basically, on that case.
I go full
and then she
reporologist.
convinced me. She asked me who my choice was.
Oh,
So if you want to have a little listen to that and then come back,
I will. Yeah, because it does interest me, but it's just, I don't know. I think I'm still working my way. I'm working my
Back
way
in
back.
time.
Yeah, exactly. I
Going
started.
forward, not back.
Yeah, I know.
well, Fred West, he's another kind of, because he's disgusting. Like he's really disgustingly unappealing. He doesn't have any of the charm that perhaps we'd associated with some of the others. He was kind of like isolated, I think, for that first moment because he was so horrible. But yet somehow he convinced these women and these girls to come back to the house.
Well, he had Rose in the car. That was most of the time. If you're in the rain and you're hitching a lift, and that's my thumbs up for give us a thumbs up, guys.
YouTube.
That's our moment again.
Yeah.
If you're hitching a lift in the rain and a car pulls up and it's some creepy guy on his own, you're going to go, no thanks, carry on. But
I'll
if
walk.
it's I'll just get pneumonia.
Yeah.
But if it's a guy and his wife and their baby in the car, you're going to go.
And she looks so unassuming as well, didn't she? She looks so just normal and like boring,
like your neighbor.
And then
your sex crazed neighbor next door.
Yeah, literally. And also I think both of them, like, I'm not sure what their combined IQ was, but I don't think it
weren't particularly
wasn't high in terms of IQ, but he obviously had smarts in kind of like another area to do what he did.
He could lay concrete. I think that was his building kind of his superpower, was he could cover the bodies.
It's good. Yeah, it's good to have a trade.
It is. Yeah. You've got to nowadays, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah, Kemper, he's a wonderful woodworker. Yeah.
Yeah. And who was the guy? Ed Jean? He made great lamps.
Yeah.
Very durable material.
He made a bowl out of someone's skull and put red licorice in it, and the police came round and were asking him things, and it was like they ate like licorice out of the bowl.
Of a skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a nipple on the lamp.
Yeah.
And no one noticed.
Just a classic. Oh, you got one of those new nipple lamps.
Yeah. Where's the switch?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
and what the Texas Chainsaw was based on, allegedly.
Oh yeah, love that movie. Movie.
Yeah, it's good. I always love the there's a guy on what used to be Twitter that did he photoshopped Paddington Bear into classic films, and he did Paddington Bear into the truck of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the end, where you've got the woman like screaming and covered in blood, and there's Paddington going.
Nice.
They're just still every time I need cheering up. That's what I look at.
Paddington in the Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
It just works.
I like that people have the time to do that kind of thing. It's nice.
I think it's touched a lot of lives, so I think it's probably time well spent. If you're going to do something, do that.
Yeah.
It was like when people first discovered AI and they decided to make who was it? It was an actress, and they were just making her in different places, but they were just using AI to put her in random places.
Yes.
Was it Nicole? No, it wasn't Nicole Kidman. Or was it? But that's what someone had decided to do. You've got AI, you've got artificial intelligence, can make you anything you want. What would you like to do with it? Oh, I'm just gonna take a Hollywood actress and start putting her into strange places. And it wasn't even like it wasn't rude. It was just funny. It was like looking a bit scared standing in front of it.
In Lidl.
In some
Yeah.
lights or something. Yeah. In a dry robe in Lidl. You know?
Yeah.
Well, Will, tell us where people can find your books if they want to read more.
Wherever you find books normally.
Okay.
You know, bookshops, Amazon,
Mhm.
wherever. But you know, if you're going to support an independent bookshop, I always suggest Four Bears Bookshop. That's my local, and Bert's Books. They're the two best, I think.
Excellent. And you've got audiobooks as well. You're with Borrowbox.
Yeah, I'm on there. Yeah, Belinda do all my audiobooks, and they're great. And
They are fantastic.
we tend to use one guy. His voice is how my voice sounds in my head. But it's not how I sound right now here. It's
Oh no. How do you sound in your head? Come
I
on.
think I sound like 1970s Clint Eastwood in my head. But really just a bit like Julian Clary, I think, in real life.
Quite the difference.
Yes, so it's good that we've got him. Would you like to read your own book? No, thanks. Could he do it, please? Because he sounds like my head voice. Yeah.
Your head voice. Lisa, who do you sound like in your head?
Probably as annoying and nasal as I sound in reality. With a bit left laughter, I think.
You have no fantasy. You're just you.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really. I think I just sound. I probably, if I was more of a wordsmith, if I could write something good, then maybe in my head there'd be a voice. But my skills are lacking in that area.
Well,
So it's just my voice. What about you?
Well, when I feel like I'm having a really boring day, I self-narrate as Eartha Kitt.
Okay.
Because I just wow. See? It works every time. Feeling a bit cold, I saunter across to the dial and I turn up the heat. Saunter back again.
I often like, do you ever just narrate like what's going on, like you're on a reality show or something, like you're in a sort of documentary? It was just a normal day, and then you just sort of in your own head, you're narrating your way through what you're doing, and it'll be like, and I took the chicken nuggets out of the freezer and I put them into the air fryer. Could have gone oven, but I like the air fryer. I was short on time today. Like just,
I sometimes hear Big Brother in my head. Dear one, and Nicky's gone to the fridge.
Alex is feeding the chickens.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
like
I
the,
imagine myself on a show. Yeah.
The film trailer guy, like, little did he know.
Yeah.
I like it.
In a world.
Yeah, in a world.
I did that.
Yeah.
So once, I don't know, I was driving my two children, and then like somebody else's child out to a certain club thing. And for some reason, just in the most boring thing in all the world, I went, this is my fourth time driving around this roundabout today. Like just said it like that to myself. And then kind of had a little joke with myself and said, oh, that's the most exciting thing in the world. And of course, the trailer guide doesn't really exist for young children. They've never, it's not on there anymore, is it? You know, you don't get trailer guide anymore. You just get a load of flash. This is what the film's about. So I then started going on her fourth time around the roundabout today. And now, anytime I drive the children anywhere, they go, do the movie guide, do the movie guide.
Do that, yeah, they do that.
Do it for whatever we happen to be doing. We drove along the path. We have to give way here. I just have to do it now all the time.
It's the most mundane things that can make you laugh. So like the other day I was wearing a skirt I wear a lot, and I put my hands down and I found pockets that I never even knew were in there. I was like, my
that
God,
is exciting, though.
This whole time I could have been putting stuff in these pockets.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
I know.
Wasted.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It's time.
I'm just going to go now and just put stuff in the pockets.
Yeah.
Like my knives and guns and all my other serial killer kit.
Masking tape.
Masking
The
tape,
fourth time I've been round this roundabout today. Like, just why would you even tell three small children that? It's been lost for conversation in the car.
They will be like, oh, do the, you know, you'll randomly do a Scottish accent, and then the next time you're in the car, it's always like in the car as well. They're like, oh, do the Scottish one again. I was like, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Irish, they love it as well, don't they? I'm trying to. We're reading Harry Potter at the moment, and we're on the Goblet of Fire. So I'm trying. I've got a not bad Professor McGonagall voice, and then, but if I have to then go to anyone from Durmstrang School, which is some sort of like kind of Polishy sort of accent, I'm going with for that, and then French for Beauxbatons. Like I'm trying to sort of move, but sometimes I can't. I can't make it back. And then
No, let's hear your McGonagall.
I tried to do an Irish accent. I just couldn't do it until I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm just going to have to read this normally. I've done it before, but for some reason, I'd moved for so many, I couldn't do it.
Let's hear your
You need trigger
McGonagall.
words, don't you? You need trigger words.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you need. Do your McGonagall. Go on.
Go on, I'm just come on. You've what? Come on. No, she's gone.
I've got all embarrassed down the hall.
You've got
Potter, Weasley.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
You need to see Professor Dumbledore. My one for Welsh, my trigger word is photocopier. It just sounds good, doesn't it, in a Welsh accent? Photocopier. It's not very good. Again, so was it last time I offended all of the Australians? This time I've offended
all the Welsh and Scots. We're slowly
There's not going to be anyone else
the whole
left
world.
listening.
Yes. You've got a big listening in Brazil, though. I mean,
yeah,
Well,
all the real Dexter
Yeah,
fans.
yeah, because of my love
I think
for
they're with us.
Paolo.
My love for Santeria.
Yeah. But there was also during that episode, for some reason I had an absolute brain trump, didn't I? And just went, they speak Spanish, and of course they speak Portuguese. So again, Will, I think I might have I think they switched off after that one as well.
The world's getting smaller. It's getting smaller again.
It is
I
me, you, and
edited
Nicky,
in the
that's
show
it.
notes. I did it in the show notes. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I said that, Lisa, she was slightly wrong. We apologise for that. And talking of show notes, Will, you're going to send us some links for your books then, so
Okay.
readers, viewers, listeners can find you very quickly. One-click wonders. That's what we like here.
Yes, I've got something coming out in June, which is this month. So that's
It
good.
is. Doesn't feel like June.
It
feels
does,
a lot
doesn't it?
like March.
It does feel like the end of the financial year, Alyssa.
Doesn't it? Well, on that note, guys, we'll have to let Will go. He's obviously a busy man. We need to let him out of the hole.
Can't
Yes.
I join your
Can I take my
cult?
wine with me?
You got to drink it all.
Oh,
No,
okay.
fill it up.
Drink.
It's all
drink,
right. No,
drink.
fill it up. So I want to join the cult, and I'm going to sign up for Psychopaths Anonymous
Yes.
to attend.
Good.
You've
I
got
don't have
one
to let
already.
go, really.
I'll send you details. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for sticking with us, guys. And remember to follow the Red Rabbit wherever you find your socials. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and obviously YouTube.
And wherever you see the red emoji and a rabbit emoji and the whole emoji, just come to us. That's a safer option if you see those emojis. Ignore anything else that's going on. Just take them as red rabbit hole emojis and come to the podcast where you're safe.
Yeah.
It's safe here. It's safe here.
See, we've got an endorsement already. Are you going to leave us a good Yelp review, Will?
Definitely, yeah. I'm going straight onto TripAdvisor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Will, for being with us, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Bye.